Corey, let's, I guess we'll start with tight ends. How's that room look? New guys, changes there.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, Matt Burns, Eddie Henry, who was a true freshman last year, Logan Compton coming back, and then brought in Jet Runyon and added, Mike O'Laughlin, who've been really pleased with.
First season heading into without Christian in a while.
Yeah.
How do you go about just replacing his production? Is it a one-person job, multiple type deal?
Yeah, I mean it's it's going to be whoever's playing well, and after I think today was day 8 of camp, it's not even close to call right now. So we've got which is what you want. I mean, Christian was a soldier, and he's a 4-year starter here, and he did a phenomenal job. And you want competition in the room, and we have it right now with Logan, Eddie, Matt, and then Mikey O. He's got the most experience. Just trying to get him healthy and get him to the start of the season, and he's progressing nicely. But he's got 1,100 snaps under his belt. Plus, he brings that veteran experience, and the machismo, and just how to do things right, how to be a pro, and how to go about your business, which is really good because the room's still pretty young overall.
Corby, since you've been here, how that position's evolved? Like you said, with Christian having been here a long time, do you sort of try to continue that trend, or does personnel kind of dictate whether you have to change things up and go a different route?
Yeah, I mean, ideally you'd like to have, you want to recruit guys that can do everything, because then defenses can't hone in on, well, if this guy's in the game, they know you're not going to go vertical, or if this guy's in the game, it's going to be a different kind of run style because he's not a masher at the point of attack. So you want to get as many guys as you can that can do it all, which I think we have a really good mix right now. And then when you've got a good base, then that allows you to bring in some specialized guys, some quicker guys, maybe smaller, more fullback bodies that can do different things than the 6'5" guys can. So I think we've got a nice little mix right now in the room.
As you continue to get those different mix of bodies, as you guys continue to build for Big 12 as well, will that probably change even the opportunities, the way they're used in the offense, and how many at a time type deal? All that up?
Well, absolutely. I mean, 2 years ago we were a lot more 12, just based on, we had Seth, we had Christian, both of them are on teams in the league right now. So, as you tool your offense to your talent and where your experience is every year. So ideally you want to be able to get into everything at any point in time, and I feel like we're going to have a good chance to do that.
How the inside guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's the deepest room in the building on offense. They're all competing. It's awesome. I mean, the only way you get better is to have competition, and that's the beautiful thing about what we have right now, is we have competition at every single position throughout the roster. And so you can't take days off, you can't take your foot off the gas, because if you do, you get exposed, and then you've got somebody to put in, and and that's how you get better. Continuous improvement is through competition daily.
To some degree, do you think your experience in the Big 12 up in Austin helps a little bit in terms of how you've been able to build the guys you're looking for, knowing what you're preparing for, maybe a little bit better?
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, every experience that you have, you got to learn from it and use it to get better. So, the good things and the bad things. So, I mean, extremely aware of what we're about to walk into, and every stadium, and every scheme that they're running on defense, and just know what you're going to have to do. So at least right now we're just preparing to be the best we can be every day.
Corby, as someone who's been on both sides of recruiting in terms of going to get guys, but also having recruiters come in and look at your guys.
Sure.
You see what's going on with conference realignment, and all these schools come to Houston, come to Texas anyway. But now that you're adding West schools, does that sort of change anything, or do you have to be on your toes more, so to speak, in terms of teams that are going to start coming in?
Yeah, I mean, we want we want to put a wall around the city, and we don't want anybody to get out, and we know we're going toe to toe with everybody in the country, and we're going to recruit the best ones, all the way down, and see how it plays out. So, I mean, I can remember when SEC schools weren't coming to Texas when I was first at Westfield, so you didn't have those issues. Those were the years where, the two schools at that time, they were signing they were committing almost their entire class the weekend after signing day for the next year. Those days are over. You're recruiting against everybody. So, with Arizona State, Utah, Arizona, BYU coming in, that's not changing. The only thing it does is it says, maybe your parents can come drive to a game once or twice a year, but it's not like they're going to get to see you play the other 10. So it's not going to be that much different than it is now.
Do you remember, was there an exact time that the floodgates opened?
Well, I tell people that I want to say it was probably around 2005 or 6, and old school, you used to have to fill out your questionnaires. Who are your top juniors? And so I'd have to sit down when everybody went home and start filling all the information out. They were all on flyers, and then I'd mail them back to the schools, right? So I start filling it out, and it's a team that's in state who was pretty successful about that time. And I start filling it out, and then something didn't hit me right, and I stopped, and I looked, and I reread it, and it said, who are your top sophomores?
Oh.
That was the first time I'd ever seen that. And so they weren't even recruiting juniors. And like I said, that was back when, at that point in time, they'd sign people on signing day, and then that weekend they'd have a junior day, and they'd have 18 commits of the 25. So that was around 2005, 2006 when I noticed that, which was right after I became the head coach.
Corby, of the new guys that you have brought in, between you and Tequila, is there have interchangeables in terms of like inside outside guys, or do you feel like if the guys in inside guy, that's where you want to keep them, like any of the new guys? I don't know. I don't think those. Yeah,
basically the way it's set up now is when we first got here, we're a lot more tight end oriented. So Tequila's going to have all of them for the passing game. And then when they get involved in the run game, which we do, especially with our big Y's, Manjack, people like that, then that's where I get involved with them. But on the day-to-day meeting room, I'm not with the Y's like I originally was.
But old offense looked, Dana throws his screens. You got to just see what you get out of them so far.
Correct.
Knock on wood, it's been.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, he's got 1,100 snaps playing in the Big 12, playing in big ball games and big stadiums, and he was a 3-year starter, so it's not like he was a backup. He just had some bad luck staying healthy. So my job is to do the best I can with what I can control to keep him healthy, so that when we get to the season, he'll be able to help us this year. That it?
Thanks, Corby.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.